Okay, so we're going to continue on with combining like terms. We're going to take it one step further. So remember we said combine means to add, and like terms have the same variable. Okay, so we will need those two things. So if we look at our first expression, 0.2x plus 0.5x plus 2. And then we look over here at step number 1. It pretty much tells us what we need to do. So it says blank the decimals with the same variable. So we know that combine means add, so that's what goes in the blank. We're going to add the decimals with the same variable. So we have 0.2x, 0.5x. We could add those together because they have the same variable of x to get 0.7x. Okay? Step number 2 says blank the decimals without the variable. So there aren't any decimals, but there is a whole number. And there's nothing to combine that with because there are no other letter or numbers without letters. So all we're going to do is bring it down. So bring down the decimals without the variable. In this case, it is a whole number. So that is our final answer, 0.7x plus 2. Okay, you cannot combine 0.7x and 2 because 2 does not have an x. So you stop right there. All right? So let's take a look at your second one, dealing with some fractions. So, step number 1, blank the fractions with the same variable. So we have 1/3 x, and we have 1/2 x. They have the same variable, so we can combine them by adding. So we could add 1/3 and 1/2 Sorry. Yeah, switch calculators. We got 1/3 plus 1/2 to give us 5/6 x. Okay? And then our second step says blank the numbers without the variable. So we have two numbers without a variable. We have 1 and we have 2. So we're going to go ahead and add those numbers together as well. So 1 plus 2 equals 3. And that is our final answer because we cannot add 5/6 x plus 3 because 3 does not have an x. Okay? Could do the same thing with all whole numbers. So we need to see we have 3c and -4c. So we're going to add the whole numbers with the same variable. So 3 plus -4 gives you -1c. Then our second step, we have a 5 and a -2, so we could also add those together to get -3. So we got -1c plus -3. We cannot combine -1c and -3 because -3 does not have a c with it. Okay, and it looks like you guys got 3 practice problems. So go ahead and put the video on pause, and when you have the 3 completed, you could join the video to double check your answers. All right, let's take a look. So we need to find our like terms. So we got 1.2p. Are there any other things that have a p with them? Sure do. 0.1p. So we could go ahead and add those. 1.2 plus 0.1 is 1.3p. Then we need to look at our plus 4. Is there any other number with just a number? And there is not, so all we need to do is bring it down. So your final answer is 1.3p plus 4. Do not add them together because 4 does not have a p. B, 2/3 a plus 1/4 a minus 5. So we got 2/3 a that we can combine with 1/4 a. Add those together and you get 11/12 a. Then you have a minus 5. Nothing you can combine with a minus 5, so you just bring it down. So we have 11/12 a minus 5. Cannot combine them because 5 does not have an a. Okay, looking at C, we have 4y plus 9y, so that gives us 13y. Then we have a plus 6. Bring it down. Cannot combine them. So we got 13y plus 6. All right, then we could do the same thing if there's different variables in the equation. So the important part here is identifying your like terms. So look at your first one. We have 5y plus 3x plus 2y plus 2x. So I'm going to highlight all the things that have y in one color. And then I'm going to highlight all the numbers that have x in another color. That way, that'll help me when I have to combine them, so I could combine the same colors. So I have 5y and 2y both in orange. I could add them together to get 7y. I have 3x and 2x in pink. I could add those together to get 5x. And then I am done because 7y and 5x are different letters. Okay, one was highlighted orange, the other was highlighted pink, so we cannot combine them. Taking a look at your next example, 1.4y plus 0.4x minus 2.4y minus 1.9x. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight my y's in pink, and I'm going to highlight my x's in green. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and add my pinks together. So I got 1.4 plus negative 2.4. To get negative 1, to get negative 1y. And then I add 0.4, which is green, to negative 1.9, which is also green, to get 1.5x. And then that is your final answer because you cannot combine them because they are different letters. Okay, so go ahead and try the 2 practice problems below. Alright, so let's take a look. So if I highlight my same letters, I got 4a and 2a, those will be orange. And then I'll make my b's green, 5b and 6b. So I'm going to add my numbers that are the same colors. So 4a plus 2a gives me 6a. Then I can add my b's, which are both green, 5b plus 6b equals 11b, and then that can go no further. Highlight my w's green, highlight my v's orange. So we got 2.4w plus negative 3.54w equals negative 1.14w. Then we can add my v's. 9.4v plus 1.7v equals 11.1 V. And then you're done with that because W and V are not the same letter. Okay, and that is the end of combining like terms.